Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, first, a big thanks to the organizers for having me and to be able to present the new project, Danube's Archaeological eLandscapes. The project has just started, so today I will be giving you more of an overview of the activities which should be coming in the next 2.5 years. The archaeology has changed. In the recent years, we have been introduced with a series of technologies. One of the, of course, more important technologies is airborne laser scanning or light detection and ranging. This technology, which sends, of course, laser scans, enables us from the airplane, enables us to look below the trees and to see the changing morphology of the landscapes, and by this to identify the archaeological features from different time periods. So we have a landscape as a palimpsest, as a combination of different features which are present in and still visible in the landscapes. This enables us to go from the classical research focusing on single objects, like here the Karl chariot from Stretweg in Judenburg in Austrian Styria, focusing more on the single monuments. Here, for example, the princely tumulus in Großklein or Kleinklein, with this big burial chamber and the dromos, but even enabling us to make a step back, to look at the landscape around them, the major sites from a completely different perspective. Here we have a laser scan of this same site of Großklein, where we have in yellow the center settlement, and all around in red the tumulus cemeteries with around 700 tumuli. But we won't stop here. We can make another step back and look at the region. So we have here again in the focus the Burgstallkugel all around. In red color, the most important tumuli. So we can identify further settlement centers or resources extraction centers in the vicinity. And we can make another step back. We can compare different regions here in the Danube region, like for example Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, and Hungary, where we compared regions with most prominent early Iron Age sites of Stretweg, Großklein, Postela, Dolenska Tablica, Jalžabet, Kaptol, Sazalombata, Šuto, and Sopron. But now to the new project. Our new project called Virtual Archaeological Landscapes of the Danube region, also Danube's Archaeological Landscapes. Major goal is to make archaeological heritage, especially archaeological landscapes of the Danube region, more regionally, nationally, and internationally visible, and by this more attractive for the tourism. We want to in order to do that, we want to involve new technologies, so virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, technologies which can be used in the museums, but also outside in the landscapes. One of the goals is to link the visitors or the mainstream tourists in the museums to visit also the landscape where the original sites were, to not only to see the objects, but also to experience the natural and cultural heritage of the regions where the objects are coming from. So if I may simplify, we are talking here about coming from the archaeological research, from the archaeological excavations, to create virtual reconstructions and present them in the museum in a way which would then invite the visitors to go back to the landscape. So the landscape or the regions where we do our research get, where also archaeological heritage is better preserved, get added value, but also by this the archaeological research. General information on the project: we just started in July 2020 and ending in July by the end of 2022. It is funded by the Interact Danube Transnational program with around 2.5 million euro of overall budget. We are almost 23 partners and associated partners coming from 10 countries, from Austria, Slovenia, Hungary, Romania, Czech Republic, Croatia, Germany, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Slovakia, so covering almost the whole Danube region. The core of the partnership are the biggest museums in the participating countries, but with additional partners coming from research, universities, research institutions, but also from tourism. We have 5 major work packages. Today I will just shortly introducing the content work packages. So strategy for the Danube, archaeological eLandscapes, transnational mobility and knowledge transfer for sustainable preservation and presentation of archaeological landscapes, and archaeological eLandscapes of the Danube region. And the first work package is all about the strategies. So a joint approaches to let's say joint problems or joint topics. On one side, we're drafting a transnational strategy which should, let's say, connect the major players in involving digital technologies for the archaeological landscapes in the museums. At the moment, we have a problem that everybody is trying something, using also lots of resources, but maybe with a common or joint approach, this could be more focused and bringing bigger added value to all the participants. Therefore, we created international working groups, which are now having also strategy workshops, and hopefully we can present in the beginning of the next year this joint strategy. We are developing also the standards for digital reconstruction and visualization of archaeological heritage. I have to say we are not talking here about the standards in form of what kind of formats or what kind of technologies, but we are talking also about the standards, what kind of archaeological heritage can be reconstructed, what kind of technologies can be used in the museums and what not. Here we want to organize industry forums, so bringing together people from the industry, development firms, IT firms, with the museums and other heritage institutions. Then we will have an international working group which will evaluate these forums, and from them we will develop the standards as support to the strategy. So as I mentioned, we are coming to this strategic question from different standpoints. So we're having one group dealing with archaeological topics, one dealing with technological topics, and one dealing with social topics. When we're talking about social topics, we are talking about general themes. How is the new technology impacting actually the society? On this, how the archaeological heritage or heritage is generally positioned in this new digitized world. Then we are looking how this society component is getting in the legal frameworks, in the conventions, in the strategies, and then also the processes in the museums. What does it mean for the collecting, for the preserving, for the researching, and on the other side, of course, in presentation, talking about visitors. We have a special topic in archaeology in education. I think this would be a major topic also for the future of our heritage. In the second work package, we will try to organize some transnational mobility and knowledge transfer. As I've shown, we have partners from southern Germany to Bulgaria with very different knowledge and different standpoints on these common topics. So we will try to mix it up to let the colleagues from different countries getting involved in other countries, working closely together on special topics, with the main focus on involvement of museums in the landscapes. One of the important elements of our project is to promote the community engagement approach. So in the classic archaeological heritage, we would have a research, the archaeologists will do the report, make a publication, then create a nice exhibition and present it to the public. With the new approach, the public should be involved even earlier, also in the creation of the presentation, or maybe even in the research part. So we are trying to develop new visualizations of archaeological heritage from these 10 countries by involving the public. Therefore, we would like to position the museums also as places where creativity is present and should be encouraged, and therefore develop jointly these creative labs and hubs. This means that external persons can be involved already in the preparing of the visualization, in the creation of a script, and then also in the creation of the virtual presentation, which then should be connected to a joint story. So we will have at the end 10 different, more than 10 different visualizations of archaeological landscapes from the Danube region connected to one joint story. And this joint story is actually a big exhibition coming in March 2022. We will have, as I mentioned, different visualizations from different countries, different time periods, joined to one big exhibition, which is shown parallel in all the participating countries. The main aim is to conduct a visitor survey. We want to know what the visitors are looking for, what are they expecting, in order to get a feedback also, which can be used also in the strategic positioning of the museum. So we will, with this exhibition, close this circle from the practical, from the visitor standpoint, to the strategic orientation of the museum. And here is also one important element, the archaeological routes. We still think archaeological routes are a very nice way to get the museums involved in the landscapes outside the premises, but also to connect the major highlights of the archaeological heritage in the Danube region. We have already one successful story in our partnership. This is the Iron Age Danube route, which is managed by the Iron Age Danube Association. And please be welcome to join in. And so we would like to develop, also propose new routes for the mostly prehistoric and early medieval time periods. So we have here at the end of the project, we have two practical elements. On one side is virtual visualizations, where we are testing our approaches. On the other side, these routes where we are really trying to encourage the museums to get involved outside of the premises. I think by this circle of the project is closed, and by this also my presentation. I would like to thank you for your attention and looking forward to hear from you. Thank you.